Yo, what's going there, guys? My name's Sig Shady. Welcome to some Battlefield 4 Domination gameplay on Paracel store. So let's have a chat about the map for a moment. Overall, I really enjoy this map. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cover, so you move around, getting sort of sniped from across the other side. The capture points themselves are quite well laid out. They're hard, I suppose, to defend and easier to attack. Which makes for at least campy sort of play. You're not going to get people being able to sit back in a very defensive sort of position for a long time, because there's so many different angles that you can attack each point from, which is good. You know, it keeps the fight moving, gives it sort of good flow, really. I guess that if you're looking at the downsides of the map, I think what really sort of, I don't know, it's kind of cool and kind of shit at the same time, is the amount of destruction. Like it's so cool to see, and it's a lot of fun to do. But if you get a bunch of engineers, even support running around with C4 and stuff on this map, it gets flattened real fast. And it completely changes the dynamic of the map. You go from a nice sort of flow, people are running around and using the cover and fighting and stuff, to people kind of hiding in the rubble, poking out little holes and sort of shooting you. And it becomes, I guess, a lot more of a campy style map. Which in a sort of an inventory focused domination game like this, I don't know, it kind of ruins the experience in my opinion. Doesn't always happen though. Like you'll see in this round, a few walls get knocked out here and there, but for the most part, the buildings stay up, and it's really good. It keeps the game flowing. You don't get any of that sort of campy shit, I suppose. Alright, so let's talk about tactics. I'm playing this as a solo player, which is going to change tactically from if you were playing with a team. Like rolling as a team, you're really going to pick 2 points and try and hold them. You know, you're going to set up defensive positions, you're going to rotate between the 2 points and push the other team off, and really try and control that. But I think as a solo player, where you don't have that kind of communication, you really want to just keep rotating around to the next objective. You'll see in this gameplay here, I'm almost going around in a clockwise position, and often I'm running into flanking opportunities where the other team are trying to defend. And they're the same problem, you know, they're mostly running around as solo players, so they're trying to defend often with like no communication, and on a map where being defensive is a hard thing to do. As I was saying at the start, like there's so many different angles you can attack from. Like you see here, I capped A, pushed them off B, now pushing towards C, and they're spawning back at A, and they're trying to push back, they're pushing back against the flow, trying to push us off C here. So we're going to just keep moving around. Try and take them off A. You can see dudes attacking here with a group. I actually thought this guy died. I was so busy looking at my minimap, I thought that explosion killed him. Unfortunately for him, the second explosion killed him anyway, so for the second revive, yeah, got him that time. Now I'm going to keep pushing. I want to push around onto A here. They're obviously trying to push back out of their spawn, so I'm sort of picking them off as I go. Nice little drop shot there. I'm running to cover to get a little shady reload off and taken out. Unfortunately, he seen me coming. I really didn't even need that reload. If I knew that guy was there, I could have taken him out. There's enough sort of ammo in the mag to at least have a firefight with him. You can see here on the respawn, I did enough damage at least to push them off A, and we all kept them. However, this is where map awareness is so important. Like I said, ooh, dirty little drop shot. I can see C's flashing, so they have to be spawning off the beach. It's the closest sort of point to where they are. You can see them all coming, and unfortunately overrun there. But I know where they're coming from. So on this next respawn, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to push that beach lane and try and push them back and retake C. However, notice on the spawn, like straight away, they're actually on A as well. But I'm going to stick to my plan and really try and push around and C. And push them back off this beach, stop them spawning in and being able to run through there. Alright, so let's have a talk about, I guess, the class and the loadout that I'm using. So with most sort of, I guess, the close quarters game modes, capture the flag, dominations, TDMs, I love to play assault. To me, having that heal and having that revive is not only like really good for your team, but it's also good for a solo player. Like you can just keep yourself alive. And there's easy points to be had just by putting mid packs in places in high volume areas, I suppose, where your team are going to be running through. Alright, so let's talk about the weapon. At the moment, you can see I'm running around with the Ace 23. The Ace 23 is almost my go-to weapon on a lot of maps, simply because it's an excellent all-round weapon. So it's not the best in all situations, but it's like a jack of all trades, I suppose. Easy to use, low recoil, decent rate of fire. And a map like this where you're doing sort of a lot of running and gunning, but at the same time there are a few sort of longer lines of sight. It is very, very strong. Now see, I'm running around with a silencer. I definitely recommend a silencer for close quarters matches, especially if you're running around as a solo player. If you're running around in a team and your team aren't using silencers, like their own gunfire is going to give you a sort of position away, I guess. People are going to be firing at where they're coming from and you could just be in the way. But as a solo player, you know, it can keep you off that mini-map and allow you to pull off some pretty good flanks. And also with like the close quarters maps, that kind of takes away the downsides of having a silencer. That lower bullet velocity really doesn't matter when the dudes you're shooting at, you know, are so close. Well guys, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. I'm going to leave it playing right through to the end of the round. There's plenty more sweet gameplay coming and a lot of kills, and you can really see I guess the tactics that I've been talking about in play. So if you like what you've seen and you want to see some more, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. There's going to be a lot more Battlefield content coming. Also the Division and Escape from Tarkov, which is a new survival first person shooter which looks freaking amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, hopefully I'll catch you in the next vid. Howdies.
Objective Bravo has been destroyed. Objective Charlie.
给我急救！哎，敌枪来了，快拿去！
Objective Bravo has been neutralized.
箱。
We have taken objective Alpha.
给你弹药。我受不了了。太感谢你了，医生。快拿好你的衣箱。衣箱来了，快拿好。衣箱来了，快去拿好。
Be advised, objective Charlie is neutralized. Objective
需要一点
Bravo
炸药
is neutralized.
你的衣箱。
I realized I'm a god. Think I heard a bit when I murder shit. In a moment I'll be taking off a tourniquet. When I burn him and I hit him in the sternum, I don't even gotta enter, but I'm gonna win the tournament. That's what I'm all about.